Money line number 3 is you need to be rich to start investing. Let's assume we learn about this financial education stuff early and you start investing when you get your first job at 21. But you don't have a ton of money to invest. So you invest $100 a month, which by the way is less than $4 a day. And you never increase how much money you invest. You stick with this $100 a month even when you get raises, and you do this decade after decade after decade until you retire at age 66. So you do this for about 45, let's call it 46 years. Now, when you do this, you're also investing your money and you're growing your money by the average rate of the market. Now, for the last 50 years or so, the S&P 500 has grown by 12% a year. But let's assume you only grow your money by 10% a year on average. This doesn't mean your money always goes up, but you average 10% a year. Well, now when it comes time for you to retire, you're gonna have over $1,045,000 from a small little $100 a month investment. Everybody can start somewhere. If you have $5 a day, start with that. You have $2 a day, start with that. You have $1 a day, start with that. Start with something and then work to add more. As you earn more money, invest more money, and keep investing your money when markets go up, keep investing your money when markets go down, and over the long term, what we have seen is that this is a proven way to become wealthy. Now you might say, well, Jaspreet, how do I invest my money? Where do I go? Again, you can watch my investing masterclass after you join Market Briefs for some more resources on how do you do that. Money line number 4 is that your banker is a trusted financial advisor. If you go to buy a house or a car or a business, who do you go to ask how big of this asset can you buy? How big of a house can you buy? How fancy of a car can you buy? Or how expensive of a business can you buy? Most of the time, people go to their bank because the bank is the one that's lending you the money, because most people are financing their houses and cars and businesses and everything in between. And your banker is not your financial advisor. Your banker is incentivized to sell you loans. In fact, most bankers are on commission, which means the bigger the loan they sell you, the bigger their commission check is. So when they're thinking about what type of house that you can buy, they're not thinking about, can you make the mortgage payments 6 months from now and still comfortably save and invest and be free. They're thinking about, how big of a house can you buy today? That way I can maximize my commission check. Now I get it, not all bankers are gonna try to maximize their commissions, but they are incentivized by commissions. So you want to keep that in mind, because their best interest is not going to be your wallet. Of course, it's their wallet. Not because they're bad people, but because they have a family to feed as well. It's your job not to look out for the banker's wallet. It's your job to look out for your wallet. And that's where you have to understand the difference between a financial advisor and a banker. There's a saying in the insurance world, if you ask an insurance broker how much insurance you need, the answer will always be more. When you ask a banker how much loan can you get, their answer will always be more. They want to sell you more loans. Insurance people want to sell you more insurance. You need to know what's right for you, your wallet, and your family, which is why when you're coming up with these decisions, you have to have a system of knowing how much money you can spend versus investing versus saving, which is why I talk a lot about a 75-15-10 plan. This way you know how much money you're allowed to save and invest and spend, because what the 75-15-10 plan says is for every dollar that you earn from here on out, 75 cents is the maximum you can spend. 15 cents is the minimum that you invest. And 10 cents is the minimum that you save. And now you know, no matter what you go out and buy, this is the max amount of money that you can spend. And if you can live off of 3/4 of every dollar that you earn, and you're working to save and invest 1/4, well, now you're always working to pay yourself first. You're always working to invest to make yourself wealthy and save. That way you can take care of your finances, because this is what's going to take care of you and your family. This is what buys you the nice stuff. And by the way, once you have enough savings, somewhere between 3 months to 12 months worth of expenses put aside in a separate savings account, well, then you can stop saving this money and you can reallocate that additional 10% here. That way you're investing 25% and spending 75% of your income. And money line number 5, your 401k is enough to retire. I hate to break it to you, but your 401k was never designed to be your full retirement plan. In fact, the founder of the 401k has come out and said that the 401k has gone awry because so many people are using the 401k as their sole retirement plan. That's not what it's made for. It was there to supplement your retirement plan. So if you have a 401k or something similar, great. It's a great place to start. use it. But don't stop there. That's not enough. You need to continue investing outside of your 401k as well. That way you actually have the financial freedom to do whatever you want when it comes time for you to retire. Which brings me to a bonus number that I want to talk about. Bonus money lie. You can figure out money later. There are 3 things that will determine how wealthy you will become, and it's ultimately very simple. TRM. Time, return, money. The better your rate of return, the better returns you get on your investments, the wealthier you're going to become, and the more money that you can invest, well, the more your money can grow. There's only one factor out of these 3 that you cannot get more of. Want to guess which one? It's not money, it's not return, it's your time. And so when a lot of people say, well, I'll start worrying about retirement or investing next year, or when my salary goes to $100,000 a year, or when whatever happens, you put it off until later, what you're doing is you're killing this part of the equation. You can always get more money, which yes, hopefully it'll work to increase your salary over time. You can work to increase the rate of return, but the one thing that you cannot change is time, which is why the sooner that you start, the wealthier you'll become, and you want to start sooner rather than later. Stop waiting for the perfect time, just get started. Market crashes will happen, recessions will happen, it's gonna happen again. When it happens, invest even more aggressively, but use time to benefit you instead of being on the opposite side of time and wishing you would have started earlier. One of the most common comments that I get on this channel is, I wish somebody would have told me this younger. I wish I would have started this younger. It's people that are in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and even 90s. Nobody over the age of 100 has told me this yet, but people have told me from the 30s onwards that I wish I would have started younger. Nobody says I wish I would have started later. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.